So here's where I'm at. The perches are on, mostly. Welded there. Welded there. The problem is, they're so far to the outside that I can't get the gun in there at the right angle to hit the connection, to hit the joint. See what I mean? See where the wire is? Not even close. So, I welded in there, got that taken care of a little bit. I did that on both corners as much as I could. Not happy with it. So now I get to pop these axle shafts out and weld it on. Of course, I'm gonna have to cut it back off because I'm going to links eventually, but it's whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and bang this out real fast. Got to pop the cover off. I will show you from there what needs to be done. If you all are ever doing this to an S10 and you've never done it before. Only axles I've ever pulled were from a Jeep Cherokee 8.25. And this is actually exactly the same thing. So it's pretty straightforward. I was just hoping not to do it, but there's no possible way to get my torch in there, or to get the tip in there. It's not happening unless I busted up flux core and lost the gas cap thing, but I'm not switching the whole welder around. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off real fast. Let's see what we got. It's either 1/2 inch or 9/16, I can't remember. 1/2 inch it is. There we go. All right. Wish I had air at this point. So I shall return after I take 85 bolts off. So you're in here now. There is, and this is actually the perfect orientation. That bolt right there, I believe it's 8mm. That's what it was on Cherokee. It's either 8 or 10, but I think it's 8. You take that out, get up behind this pin, push that out. There are 2 C-clips on these axle shafts. You can see them right there. That's a C-clip, and that's a C-clip. Push the shaft in a tiny bit. Of course, you gotta pop the drums off first. And you push the pin out, push the shaft in, take the C-clip out. That's where this comes in. Because if you drop it down there, I mean, it's not a huge deal, it's not deep or anything, but it's just easier not to have it happen. That's all. And then pull the axle out, unbolt the drums, pop them off, burn that in real fast, put it all back together. Hope you don't wreck the seals welding it on. Should be fine though. I might put a wet towel on there just to kind of dissipate the heat. But yeah, go ahead and do that real fast. And then that's all she wrote. Put it all back together. Then we'll have the back end back in the car. Then I get to cut the floor out because just the height of these, which I guess the drive shaft would have hit anyway, but this, the pinion's almost touching the floor. With the angle it has to be at, it's almost touching the floor. It's like a 1/4 inch away from the floor. So it's gonna have to be cut out and modified. Fun stuff. All right, back to work. Something I didn't notice, this bolt is all chewed up. So I can't get a grip on it to turn it. So I have to leave these the way they are, unfortunately. But I'm going to a 4-link at some point, or a Jimenez 2-link, or I'm going to something. So it doesn't matter. It's only temporary. I'm pretty positive these welds will hold. Those should hold. These right here, I wrapped them around. I got as far up as I could. I got as far in as I could before the welder was just hitting this and it wasn't getting anywhere. That one looks crappy, but it should hold temporarily until I do the 4-link. I have a lot more research to do, and I need to get this car mobile because I need the garage for Jeep stuff that I have to do and stuff like that. So I at least have to be able to move this thing forward and backwards. So those are gonna stay like that for now. I might worry about it another time if I decide to keep leaf springs. I probably won't keep them. So I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, so there we go. So I'm gonna clean that up, seal it on with some right stuff, let it do its thing. Boom, pop it in, lower it down, get the wheels on. See if it's sitting too low. I might have to add the leaves back into it, which of course is gonna F me up because it's gonna change the pinion angle. So I'm gonna have to run shims, which is one thing that I was happy about doing this, because I could set my pinion angle perfect and weld it on the way you're supposed to do it and not use shims, because shims suck. But doesn't look like that's going to happen. So it's whatever. It'll work. It'll be fine. Pinion angle might be perfect. Who knows? It might sit perfect. Then I won't have to worry about it. But there are the other two leaves that I took out right there. That's the very bottom and the second to bottom. So the springs are essentially sitting flat, which is good. It's no problem. Motor's not putting out enough power to cause any kind of axle wrap, I don't think. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I might have to raise her back up a little bit anyway. I don't want it sitting low in the back. I want it sitting dead level. Anyway, button this back up, get it in, get the front back together, done. All right, getting ready to toss the cover back on. I painted it on Friday. Everything is dry. Got to hit this with some paint under here. I missed all this. But I am going to wait until it's in the car. That way I'm not getting paint all over my hands. That doesn't make any sense. So I just hit this with some brake cleaner and a rag. Got to hit this. This is a new cover. Got to hit it with brake cleaner and a rag. Bolt it on. Apparently the S10 rears take 80, 90. And I have 75, 90 from the Jeep. But I don't know if it's like oil and it really doesn't make a difference, or if it's not like oil and it really does make a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and get 80, 90. No biggie. One thing Chevy did that makes way more sense is put the fill plug. Where's that fill plug at? Where the hell's the fill plug? I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Way up here. So, as opposed to in the cover, which I feel makes it easier because you got gas tanks in the way, obviously not on this, but in general. Anyway, go ahead and get that on, and we are going to get ready to slap this in and get these back tires back on the ground. Can't wait. Then I get to get into this to make clearance for the drive shaft and all that, and take the drive shaft over to the shop. That bad boy's got to come out of there. We see you in there. We see you. It's got to come out to get modified for a 3R U-joint, which is this right here. That's the 3R U-joint part number, made in Mexico, which still counts as America to me. Just because it's either Central or South America, it's still America. For some things. Moog, I mess with. And I also got the straps because I did not have it for the drive shaft. But that's about it. I'm anxious to see how low it's going to sit. I might have to add some leaves back like I was saying, but we'll see. So let me go ahead and get this cover on. I'll be right back. The axle's in. Not in officially. I only have the U-bolts torqued to 20 foot-pounds in case I have to throw the leaves back in. I'm going to have to use wedges, unfortunately. But I'm going to do a test fit with the spacers and the wheels just to see how easily they go on. So I will see if I can get the camera set up real fast so y'all can watch, and then we'll go ahead and do that real quick just to see what happens. Let me show you real quick the so I have to lose that, which is the original shock mount bolt. It was way forward. I tried to put it, that's like directly above the axle. That's how much room I have between the frame and the backing plate. Plenty of room. That's probably close to 2 inches. Plus, I'm going to put a gigantic notch in there so I have some shock length. But, yeah, let me go ahead and get these spacers on real fast. And then this is all just a test fit. And then I'll set it up so we can see how the wheel goes on. Which is the whole reason I did this axle. Was to be out low and get the wheel on and off. So we'll be right back. Well, you know what they say. You can't win them all. The latch was a success. That worked out perfect. Everything else has worked out perfect. Had to have one mess up. So the rear axle sitting so low with the blocks and all that, it's sitting so high, whatever you want to say. The rear of the car is going to sit so low that now the tire is hitting the spacer. With the original axle, it was hitting the drum. Now it's hitting the spacer. So I'm still bottle jacking it to get tires on and off. Luckily, you don't have to do it that often, I suppose. And now I have all brand new brakes. I have a better axle. I'll have consistent U-joints. I won't have to get adapters or whatever. You know what I mean? It's whatever. I'll have the same U-joint front and rear, both 3Rs. So if I have to go get on the road a U-joint brakes, I'll be able to just run into a parts place and grab it. Yeah. So that sucks. But I'll have an e-brake again and all that. So I guess it's not all bad. It is bad that I just spent a crap load of money doing this. And I'm in the same situation I was before I started. But whatever. It's in now. So 2-inch blocks. Maybe it'll sit too low. I'll have to lose the blocks. But then on that note, hopefully it doesn't throw my drive shaft angle all out of whack. We'll see. I want it to sit level. And the front is going as low as I can possibly take it without bags. But I don't want to bag it. So we'll get the front on and then we'll sit her on the floor. We'll see how she's looking. And we'll go from there. Right? Right. But there we go. Anyway. We're done. We're hitting still. Got a bottle jack. I'm not going to bother putting the tires on right now because I don't want to add the extra weight to the rear. I don't have jack stands back here. I have that one right there, but it's not actually touching. That's just in case something decided to come down when I was dropping this down, even though I have jack stands like the entire length of the car. But axle's in, pinion angle set. It's going to hit the floor without a doubt, on a bump anyway, if it doesn't hit when I'm just sitting still. So I guess tomorrow or Wednesday I'll get the front end done, get that back on, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. There we go, rear axle's in. Finally. Trying to get some space back in this garage so I can bring the bike in here and do the thermostat on it. Because it's running nice cold. All right. There we go. Was a fail. Cool though. On to the next thing.